There are a lot of trading strategies out there, and it's really difficult to know what's worth listening to. But today I'm going to show you how I develop my own trading ideas and how you can as well. It has to begin with some kind of idea like trend following or a breakout, or in this case, mean reversion. That's the idea that when price moves too far in one direction, it's likely to return towards the mean. Often this can be a reaction to news, so price will suddenly sell off quickly, but it can overreact. And over time, it corrects some of that overreaction. And there are even indicators that can be used for this. For example, if you've ever used Bollinger Bands, they're quite a good example of a mean reversion setup. You have a middle line, and then you have your upper and lower band. The idea being that when price extends into one of the bands, it oftentimes comes back into the middle. But I'm not talking specifically about an indicator or Bollinger Bands. What I want to do is get into the price data and really dig into it to see if there is underlying mean reversion that I can exploit. And what I'm going to check instead is actually quite simple. I'm going to first of all look at every single candle's direction. So whether it closes up like a bullish candle or if it closes down as a bearish candle. I'm then going to count the number of consecutive bearish candles. So for example, here I've got 1, 2, 3 red candles in a row. And then I'm going to measure what happens in the next few days after that pattern. And I'll just repeat that over and over for all the different combinations. For example, here I have a longer streak. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red candles in a row. So then I record what happens afterwards. Here I only have 2 red candles in a row, and then I record what happens after those. And by comparing those different results to each other, as well as just the benchmark, I can see whether or not there is a statistical edge to these patterns. And I'm going to do that with a Python notebook. So the first thing I want to do after importing the libraries that I'm going to use is to load in my data. For this experiment, I'm using USD Japanese yen, and I'm going to look at a daily time frame. There are different ways of getting historical price data, but one quick way is just to get it directly from MetaTrader. If you head over to the symbols list and select the symbol, in my case USD Japanese yen, head over to bars, select the time frame, select the start and end times, and request data, it's going to give you historic price bars. I can then export these and then save them as a CSV file to use in my Python Jupyter notebook. So I've already done that, and this block of code is going to load that data in. So now I can see my open, high, low, and close prices for that currency pair starting in 2008 all the way to the current day. So I've got a huge data set here going back many, many years. Next, I like to just plot this out just to see what it's going to look like, and then I can compare it to the chart in MetaTrader. Annoyingly, on the daily chart, it doesn't let me zoom out enough, but on a weekly, this is roughly where I'm starting. So price goes down a little bit, comes back up, then there's a long drawdown, and then price comes back up again in the later years, which is exactly the same thing as I'm seeing in this chart. Price goes down, comes back up, a stagnation, and then price comes back up again in more recent years. So I'm happy enough to proceed. That just gives me a quick sense check of my data. So now I can start actually working with that data. And the first thing I want to do is measure the direction of every single candle. I need to know if the candle is bullish or a bearish candle, i.e. if it's an up day, a green candle, or if it's a down day, a red candle. And I'm just going to mark that with either a +1 or a -1. So in this case, on the 7th of January, price opened at 108.63, and then it closed higher at 109.23. So that's a bullish day, and that's why this direction is a +1. But then the previous day opened at 109.47, and then it closed lower at 108.57. So that's a red candle, it's a down day, and that gets a -1. And I do this for all 4,790 rows in my dataset. Now that just gives me the individual day. So what I want to do next is look at the streaks. So how many of those I get in a row. So this block of code will add additional columns. And if I just type df at the bottom, I can now see my updated data frame. And this effectively turns into a matrix of signals. So I have my different patterns, consecutive 2, consecutive 3, consecutive 4, and so on. So this is how many red candles I've had in a row. And that condition is based on this direction. So for example, in the first row, I got a down candle, and in the second row, I got another down candle. So on that row, this column, which is consecutive down 2, becomes true because I've now had 2 down days in a row. The next day I have a third down day, This one is still true because the previous two are down, but now this one is also true because the previous three are down. You can see as the numbers increase though, there are fewer and fewer true conditions. And that makes sense. It's going to be more and more rare to have these long continuous streaks of red candles. And in fact, we can calculate how many of each pattern there is in this dataset. So this tells me that out of 4,790 rows, I have 1,060 where there's 2 red candles in a row. But down at the bottom, I only have 21 instances where there's 7 red candles in a row, and 47 when there's 6. This is over a huge time frame, so having such a small number of results kind of makes them a bit meaningless, and I'm going to drop them from my dataset. They're not going to give me useful and reliable information, and even if they did, I can't trade such a low frequency strategy. So I'm going to drop 6 and 7 from the dataset. So with those 2 columns dropped, I now have a smaller data frame with all of the previous information, but we now only go up to 5 consecutive down candles. That gives me the patterns, so it finds each individual sequence of say 1, 2, 3 red candles. But I then need to know what happens in the following days after that. So that is what I do in this block of code. I calculate my forward returns. So basically if I enter a trade and I hold it for 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, and so on, what is the return after that many days? The way I calculate these returns is based on the open price on that day. So from the first row, I grab the open price as if this is where I purchased. And if I was to sell on that same day at the close, then that is a 1-day hold. But I'm looking at 2-day holds as a minimum. So that means that for this row, I buy at the open and I sell at the close of the next row. So that is what this return value here is. As these columns increase, the hold duration increases with it. So this actually gives me most of the information that I need. I have my individual patterns, and I also have my individual returns for holding multiple days. So now I just need to link these 2 sets of information together. And that's what I do in this next code block. For each multi-day streak, so a 2-day streak or a 3-day streak of red candles, I calculate the average return of holding for a number of days. I also calculated a baseline, and this looks at every single day. So basically there's no signals at all. It just takes every single day's entry, and then it calculates the multiple day holds for each of those days. The purpose of this is just to give me something to compare my results against. But this table is a bit of a data dump. It's not that easy to quickly make sense of what's going on. So that's why I plotted all of this out on a line graph. And if we scroll down a little bit, then we see the results from that study. So each of these different color lines represents a pattern. You can see the legend in the top right corner. So this is a 2-day streak, 3-day, 4-day, and 5-day. And the y-axis is the average return for holding multiple days. Down at the bottom here is the baseline. And what's interesting is that apart from this crossover between red and green in the middle, all of the lines are stacked neatly on top of each other. And this basically tells me that as I get more and more red candles in a row, the return in the following days after that pattern improves, which confirms that there is some form of mean reversion here. So the longer we deviate from the mean and the further price moves in one direction, the bigger the eventual reversal tends to be. It also shows that the effect is most pronounced in the first few days. For example, the 2-day red streak peters out between a 6-day and a 7-day hold. The 3-day streak does it a little bit earlier, 4-day streak does it earlier still, and a 5-day streak even earlier. So this is a short-term edge, and after waiting for a few days, price returns back to the mean and the subsequent edge deteriorates. Now this still doesn't really give me a trading strategy, but it gives me an indication that there is something here that I could use. I just need to start picking some settings. So let's say the 3-day hold is optimal. I want to aim for this column here. Then what I can do in the next code block is calculate the results for each of those settings. So based on a 3-day hold, I can then compare my 2-day, 3-day, 4 and 5-day red candle streaks and see how they would have performed. So the first thing is that the win rate increases with the streak. So the longer that pattern continues, the higher the likelihood of a reversal. The average win size increases and the average loss decreases, which means that the profit factor also gradually increases with the streak. So looking just at these raw numbers, it kind of seems obvious that I should aim for the 5-day streak. That gives me the best results, the highest win rate, biggest profit factor. But if we go back up to the top here, you remember the count of each of those patterns. The 5-day streak only occurred 99 times, whereas the 3-day streak occurred almost 5 times as much, and the 2-day streak occurred 10 times as much. So this is a balance of quantity versus quality. Yeah, sure, I could go for that best outcome, but if I'm going to get 99 trades over an 18-year period, then it's not really going to be worth it. So that means that I need to pick one of these patterns. I need to decide how many consecutive down days I want to use as my entry signal. So there's another piece of the picture that's still missing, and that is the equity curve. What do these strategies actually look like if I was to backtest them over that period? And that's what this code block down here does. I'm still using the 3-day hold, but each of these charts shows a different candle pattern of increasing number of red candles in a row. If you pay attention to the numbers on the left, you can see that as the number of candles increases, the total profit decreases. And the main reason for that is just the number of trades. Sure, there might be better setups, but they happen a lot less frequently. So going just by the raw numbers isn't enough. It's important to also look at these equity curves and see which one looks the best. In my view, this red one here is the best middle ground. Other than a couple of areas, there's not a lot of drawdown. It doesn't generate as much profit as the chart above, but this green chart is a bit more choppy than the red one. So now based on this study, I have defined my strategy rules, which is that I wait for 3 red candles in a row. Once I have those, I will enter a trade at the open of the next candle. I don't use a stop loss, I hold for 3 candles. So the exit would be at the close of this green candle here. Now picking this specific equity curve could be overfitting. I've picked the best outcome out of a number of different combinations. However, what this experiment has shown is that in the underlying data, there is some kind of pattern, and there is a tendency for mean reversion, which increases with each consecutive red candle. There are a few things I didn't consider though, such as a transaction cost. This is Forex, so there's going to be spread to pay. I don't pay any commissions with my broker, so I don't have to consider that. There's also going to be slippage potentially. However, because this is on the daily time frame, those costs will have a much smaller impact than an intraday strategy, but they still need to be considered. I also need to think about financing costs, because the strategy will hold these trades overnight. Well, fortunately, the USD Japanese yen actually pays a positive carry. So basically, every night that I hold this trade, I earn an additional amount in financing from my broker, which will help and increase the profitability of each trade slightly. There's also the challenge of opening and closing positions exactly at the open and close of a candle. Realistically, that's never going to happen, but that is how my Python code and backtest is configured. So for a more accurate backtest, I created an expert advisor in MetaTrader. In the settings, I'm going to use 3 for the streak, which is the number of consecutive red candles, and then 3 for the hold days, for how many days I'm going to hold the trade. I also add a delay of 5 minutes to my entry. So this means that I don't trade exactly at the open, I actually trade 5 minutes afterwards, which makes this a little bit more realistic. I'll then run a backtest, and this will show me how the MetaTrader system will compare to the result that I got in Python. And I get a very similar result, which confirms the work that I did in Python. Now, I'm not saying that anybody should go and trade this strategy. That wasn't the point of this video. But hopefully what I have demonstrated is how you can take a very basic idea, no indicators, just the raw price data, test it out and see if it holds any truth. So I hope that was useful, and I'll see you in the next video.